A king mysterious, the musical Obia man. And run the captain of the Evolution. Alongside Kabaka to the lyrical John. The definition of a king. I defend the nation, but I'm a governing. Ayo. Them feel the powers man a fling. From the rise up the lion, everything we conquering.
Peace and love and power, family. Today's subject is community footprint.
The definition of a king. Looking at myself, I see the power is within. Then me tell Goliath, better keep it cool and quiet, because when the rhythm is just like David with the sling. I go to the east, step in a foreign. Buy me to the east, let me go for him. I don't need no Mona Lisa, searching for a million. Now we're full of melanin, and them they think me in. Bring back the rhythm in the party. King in the ring can do one thing to the heart. I am not the spear, I am here, I am water. Try to stop the elements and me just kill them with laughter.
Peace, love, and power to my brother King Freeze in the building.
The king move with a team full of supreme rulers. We see through the disease what the beasts are bring to us. They move foolish and make ruthless. The king movement. The man too with a black cooler than black Buddha. When it's the black and more tracking by the stars of the king from us.
The artist that I'm playing for you, his name is King Mas. I provided the link in the header of the video for you if you want to listen to some of his music.
Enemies from the breeze, minus 20 degrees. Children of the sun, come to turn up the heat.
All right, this is another one from my brother. At this time, you'd be so kind to share and invite. Approximately 20-30 seconds after this, we're going to dive into the subject for today. Again, community footprint. Community footprint. Footprints are direction. Directions that we need to follow after. King Mas.
And all them what is gizim. And still not man I one of them not see. But you will all clean and try take man the full 42 laws of my attack. So not carry no guts, but we not forget. After them IMF, now forget the manufacture.
Again, that's King Mas. King Mas. Check him out. Again, I provided the link in the head of the video. Go check out his videos. He's doing outstanding things out there. All right, we're going to dive in on today. We want to talk about us actually leaving a model for our people to follow after. A lot of us, we talk about what we need to do. Now it's time to demonstrate what needs to be done. We need to show them what success actually looks like. We need to show them what a healthy community and unity actually looks like. So we need a model. I recall I have some friends who are involved in construction, and they have these models, and the model shows you the aftermath of what the project looks like. After all of the work is done, you see the fruit of the labor. You see the aftermath of what the electrician did, the plumber did, you know, the brick mason did, what the architect actually did, what the construction team did. Those who do windows, what they did. The landscaper, what he or she did. So we have a model that shows you what the project actually looks like once it's done. Our life needs to be a model of what we're professing to the community. We need to be an example of what love looks like. We need to be an example of what unity looks like. We need to be an example of what an entrepreneur from the hood actually looks like. So what we need to show them is, what does our life look like after we put in the work for things to work in our life? What does our life look like after we make moves for things to move in our life? Now, I myself and my queen and I, we are both from rough parts of the city. My queen, she's from Pompano Beach, Florida. She grew up in Kaya City. And I'm from Rochester, New York. I grew up on the two worst sides of the city of Rochester, New York. I grew up on the east side. I grew up off of Joseph Ave on Dale Street. I also lived on Conkey Avenue. I lived in an apartment complex called Gateway at the time, Genesee Parkway, at that particular time. I also grew up off of Chili Avenue on a street called Salina. So for those who are from the 585, you from Rochester, New York, as we say, Rock City, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, so I grew up in some very rough neighborhoods. However, I did have examples. Me, myself, I was very fortunate. The bishop of the ministry there in Rochester, New York, is an entrepreneur. He owns real estate. I had examples of what success looked like because some of our Sunday school teachers were bona fide teachers in schools. I seen doctors that look like us. I was very fortunate. I seen lawyers that look like us. In fact, I went to East High School and I seen teachers that look like us. So I actually had a model, if you will, and my principal looked like us. And as a matter of fact, my principal is a Q. He's a part of the Omega Psi Phi. Okay. And he taught us at that school I went to. We were very fortunate to have a curriculum that consisted of accounting. Okay. And also we learned about being able to get a scholarship from academia or sports. The reason why I'm in the place I'm in today is because I've had models. I have a grandfather who treated my grandmother very well. I had men in my life that showed me how I'm supposed to treat a woman appropriately. I had a mother who told me my skin is beautiful, and she called me her chocolate baby. My mother told me how handsome I am. I had a teacher by the name of Janice Brown at Pentecostal Miracle Deliverance Center Church in Rochester, New York, that was once on St. Paul Street, who she taught me how to present myself to a woman. She taught me to be organized. She taught me to stand in the presence of a queen, to pull out the chair for a queen, as well as my grandfather, Fred Allen Sr., who's not my biological grandfather. However, he taught me how to treat a woman by him displaying that by how he treated my grandmother, Esther Allen. And he also taught me how to speak to a woman. He didn't teach me the catcall. He taught me how to speak to a woman with intellect and with respect. He taught me chivalry. With that being said, I was also taught by my mother how to be independent. My mother taught me the value of $1. My mother taught me that if I didn't do my work and I only did a half a job, if I didn't do the work, I didn't get paid. If I did a half a job, I got half of my money. So she taught me how to deal with reality outside of the home. She taught me how to be an adult. My mother, when I was very young, she taught me how to iron my clothes. I've been ironing my clothes ever since I was in 2nd grade. I learned how to wash my clothes when I was very young. I learned how to clean up a house. My mother told me I could not go outside and play until my chores was done. She told me when you go outside to play, put on your old sneakers because those sneakers cost money. We had to work for that. You need to value what you have and take care of what you have. So I learned that because I was given a model by way of instruction on how I'm supposed to live my life. Our youth pastor taught us as young men. His name was Reverend Patterson. And he would teach us about having money and how to ensure that we work for what we wanted. And he showed us the fruit of his labor. He showed us how much money he had in his wallet at the time. And he said, I still have more where that come from. And he said, this came from me working. I didn't sell any drugs to get this. The money that you see me have right now is to show you that you can have this and more if you work for what you want and if you're smart with your money. So with that being said, I was given a model for me to follow after. So when I come on these programs, I don't come on here to be boisterous. What my queen and I, what we like to do is to be a model for the community and to show the community what black loves look like, and also to show our community that you don't have to be a senior citizen to be happily married or to be financially successful, and that being in love is not only for our elders. We also want to show our community that where you grew up at is not a limitation to you. Your limitation is your mental faculty. It's the way that you think. We thought ourselves out of poverty. We were taught. So what we did was we implemented what we were taught, and we were taught accurate information, and we applied the accurate information, and that's what empowered us, meaning that's what enabled us to be able to do the things that we're doing. So it's accurate information and the implementation of that information that brought about the transformation in our life. So again, as I aforesaid, that the model that was established is what inspired me and encouraged me, and it showed me that I can do it too. Because I had examples of success that was established in my younger years up into my adulthood. And so my Sunday school teacher, evangelist Janice Brown, she instilled African pride in us. So I was never inclusive with my mother and my elders in my family. I was never ashamed of being an African. And I'm very fortunate because I had elders that poured that into me in my younger years, my adolescent years into my adulthood. So I never wrestled with my ethnicity. I never wanted to be any other ethnicity other than what I am. I'm a very proud African man. And the only reason why I am in the situation that I'm in today is simply because I had the right teaching. And I had examples. So it gave me the confidence to believe that I can achieve anything I put my mind to. As long as I put in the work for me to achieve it, I can do so. So my queen and I, we took authority over our situation. We made sacrifices, right? We went down to one car. We cut down our trips. And we started pouring our money into our real estate investment business. And we started to acquire properties. Now, when we did this, we had a plan. We're not doing this just to do it. We did it to establish an inheritance for our children and our grandchildren, to leave them wealth. None of us can implement what we have not been taught. So I fault no one within our culture. I understand why we're in the situation that we're in. Now that we know that our issue is economics, what we must do then is become more inquisitive to find out how can we partake in lucrative businesses that's going to generate generational wealth. How does these rich people ascertain what they have? The reason why we are in the condition that we're in as well is because we're not inquisitive enough. A lot of us are jealous of what our brother and our sisters have obtained when we can obtain the same things if we simply just start inquiring about how did they obtain what they have. So we shouldn't hate. We should celebrate. Instead of us hating, we should inquire, how did you obtain what you have? We have to get our credit straight. Consult a creditor. A credit repairer, excuse me. Consult a credit repair person to repair your credit. Then what you can do is you can turn your credit into cash. How? By you getting business loans and purchasing properties, using those as rental properties, and or turning your credit into a business. First, going to get your degree as a doctor, as a nurse, as a lawyer, using your good credit to be able to establish yourself a practice. Okay? And it's okay to work for a company until you have enough revenue coming in via your clientele in order for you to then relinquish your job position and to become a full-time entrepreneur. I worked for a total of 20 years as a United States Marine. I had a plan. And what I did was I ensured that prior to me retiring, I paid off all of my debt so I wouldn't have to work anymore if I didn't want to, once the time presented itself. Up until that time, after I retired, I had not yet received my full retirement pension. So I worked as a correction officer in Wilmington, North Carolina. Once I had received my full retirement pension, due to me managing my monies properly, I had positioned myself for me to fully retire. So now I fully retired at the age of 39 years old. That had empowered me to be able to position myself then to transition into being a full-time entrepreneur. However, in order for me to do that, I had to invest in a business that would generate enough revenue for me to stop working and to be able to pursue my other dream. So what we have to do is to gain information that is going to enable us to be in a posture whereby we can be empowered with the knowledge of self, health, and wealth. Because if you're unhealthy, how can you enjoy what you accumulate? And if you're unhealthy, it affects you mentally, which keeps you from being able to make sound decisions because you're ill. So it does affect your decision making. The knowledge of self gives you the confidence that you need in order for you to be able to have confidence in yourself as well as your people. Self-confidence, as an African, stands for having confidence in yourself and your people as well. If we don't have faith in each other, then we will never do business with one another. So we have to be taught into teaching confidence in self. We have to be taught in to have confidence within ourselves and believing in ourselves. And we also need to have a model whereby it can show the younger generation, our peers and our elders, that they can accomplish what it is they set their mind to do. Being an example is more powerful than what people think. When you are an example, you actually give people confidence, and you also help to rid them of the fear that they have. And also, you also show them that their ethnicity is not a restraint. The only thing they need is the willpower and also the endurance, because at times you will get fatigued when you're seeking after what it is that you're desiring. So when you share, also share your testimony. Don't worry about haters, because that's the nature of a hater. A hater's just going to hate anyway. You share it with the right intention so that it can empower someone else. Now, what our community needs to do is we need to rid ourselves of anything that is not beneficial to us. We're talking about a community footprint. So we must first rid ourselves of the hate of ourselves. And we must teach love. And so that love can germinate instead of hate. Then we must teach financial management. We have to teach financial literacy. Then we must teach our people about health. because we have a lot of sickness and disease, but we also have to teach our people about life insurance. We have to teach people about the financial power that you have when you have a house, because your house builds equity. It's what you call an appreciating asset, meaning that it gains value. And so you're able to eventually tap into the equity that you build into your house, and you're able to empower your family financially, because you could take some of that money from your home and then you can purchase another home from that home. See, what we're taught is, oh, just put your family in a house. We're not actually taught the financial power that is in a home. A lot of us just look at it as somewhere to live, to protect us from the elements, somewhere we can just lay our head. But we don't understand the financial leverage that you have when you actually are a home owner. Now, to each his own. To each his own. Yes, there is some expenses that you acquire when you're a home owner. However, to me, due to what I aforementioned, I'm willing to pay those expenses periodically, because you got to think, how often are you going to have to replace a roof? How often are you going to have to replace an air conditioning unit? How often are you going to have to replace a furnace for those who have it? Okay? So I want you to think about this. The price that you would pay for replacing a roof, you still will come out cheaper doing that, because you have to think about this. All the money that you are spending renting a property, you will never own where you're staying. So in other words, you'll be paying someone for the rest of your life to reside in that residence. Whereas if you had purchased that property, purchased the property instead of renting, you'd have been actually paying yourself. Why? Because as you live in that property, depending, of course, where you are, because location is very key as well as far as how much your home is worth. This is the reason why we have to stop the crime as well. First, we need to value life. That's the most important. And secondly, we have to be economically inclined to think about what it's doing to us. We don't understand that when you have a lot of crime in the area, it causes the value of property to go down. And so thus you can't bring wealth in the community, because instead of the property value going up, the property value will go down. And see, listen, when you have a good neighborhood, people want to plant businesses there. And when people plant businesses there, it attracts more residents, right? It attracts people who want to reside there. So now you have more tenants and you have more homeowners, that want to move into that area, because now they're building the area up. And when you have amenities around that area, it causes the value of those properties to go higher. So we have to leave a community footprint, and we have to start empowering our people with this knowledge so that they can understand. Why is it so important for us to come together? Cooperative economics, umoja, unity, Ujima, meaning that we make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems, we solve them together. Listen, the reason why we're not successful, you know why? Because a lot of us don't understand the power of unity. I've never seen any athletic team that is a team that requires numerous players, such as football and basketball and soccer and hockey. I've never seen any team win a championship without everybody doing their part. So, as a community, in order for us to win, we all have to come together and start doing our part. And as I aforementioned to you, I mentioned to you a motto. And a model, after an architect puts it out there, the architect shows you the finished product of that model, right? So what I'm showing you is, because we have a business called Synergetic Network Group, LLC, and that consists of numerous African-owned businesses in various occupations. Within our circle, we have doctors, we have lawyers, we have real estate, we have a real estate lawyer. You know, we have landscapers, we have teachers, we have financial advisors, we have credit repair specialists, we have real estate agents, we have a real estate broker. We have friends who do childcare. So this is how you build a community. You bring these various occupations together and you establish those occupations within that community. And now what you're doing is you're empowering the community to actually be exactly that. Community, break it down to fellowship in unity. Commune, to fellowship. And you know, you break down in unity and community. So we have to have fellowship in unity. So in order for us to be successful, we all have to come together. We need judges. We need lawyers. We need nurses. We need doctors. We need professors. We need school teachers. We need people in the area of nursery. We need pediatricians and gynecologists and etc. If you're going to be a successful nation, then we have to have everything that is going to entails in order for us to be successful. We need our own production. We need our own cars, right? Our own factories to make our own clothes. We need our own factories to make our own cars. We need commissioners and senators and governors and mayors. We need all of that. And if all of us come together with one mind, and that is to empower the people, we need farmers to grow our food. We need people who own grocery stores. We need holistic doctors so we can move away from these pharmaceutical products that they have, where a lot of them, they actually end up causing more damage than they do actually bringing healing. We need to be taught about ourselves accurately. Kuji Chagalia. We need to be taught by us, about us, and we need to define ourselves, and we need to speak for ourselves. Okay? So we need African studies. Do you really think that they're going to allow African studies in a public school? Well, guess what? That's why we need money so we can build our own schools. But guess what? We need lucrative businesses, because basket weaving isn't going to bring in the type of money we need in the community. We need to go into lucrative businesses, owning factories, having food chains, having stores like Walmart, but it's made by us. So then we could take that money and we pour that money back into the community. And then we can start building schools. So when our children go off to the NFL, when they go to the NBA, when they go to these lucrative sports, the Major League Baseball leagues, check it out. If they had this mindset, don't you know how further along our communities would be? Bless up, King. King Monster's in the building. That's the brother right there who I was telling you about, whose music we was playing at the beginning of this program. So reach out to our brother. Powerful, man. Very powerful, man. I tell you, that brother remind me of Chronics. Very gifted brother. Listen to him. You know, his lyrics is empowering. And you see what I just did? That's networking right there. You see that? Supporting each other, loving each other. All right? You know what I'm saying? I don't just ask this man to come on the program and I don't do nothing for him. You know what I'm saying? It's mutual. The love is mutual. It's reciprocated. The love is reciprocated. And we have to teach each other to support each other. Now, with that being said, imagine if we teach our young men and young women to, when they go to the NFL, when they go to the NBA, when we teach them how to start buying property and buying complexes, they can put those duplexes back in the neighborhood. Imagine if we start teaching our young people to go to college and to come back and to bring their doctor and nursing practice back to the hood. Imagine if we teach our young men and our young women that's making these millions of dollars to go back and to start buying schools. And we teach them how to be able to budget enough to be able to pay the teachers. So now think about this. We send our children to school and we send them to go to school to be wealthy, right? And we teach them to go back to the community, buy facilities. Now we won't be in debt because we pay it off of cash, right? And then we put the teachers in there that go to college, go to an HBCU. Now the money's still in the community. They go to the HBCU. They come back to the community. And then the millionaire, the one who invested in real estate or whatever millionaire occupation they're in, okay, they can start taking that money and start paying the teachers. Now the money is still in the community. And now if any of us get sick, we can go to the doctor, we could go to the dentist. And if we as people allow our people to do Medicaid, okay, and then also if we allow some of our homes to be HUD homes, all right, now the money now is still being circulated within the community. So we make some of those rental property HUD properties. Now, all right, in the apartment complexes that we put in the community, now we keeping the money in the community because they're paying us and we're providing a service for them. And so now we're doing business with each other. You put some vegan restaurants in the community so our people can start eating healthier. So the money is starting to generate within the community. We buy movie theaters. Those who wealthy, we encourage them. Hey man, go over there and buy a movie theater. Hey bro, start creating some cars. See what the requirements is for you to be able to come up with a car manufacturer in America. So we start making our own cars. Hey man, you own a beauty supply, right? Listen, I own a beauty supply store. So how about you and I come together? You start selling your products in this beauty supply store. Now we got the money still circulating within the community. Remember, the title is a community footprint. So now, all right, I got toothpaste. I got mouthwash. Okay, she owns a black beauty supply store. All right, so let's put those products inside of the store. Okay, I'm a black farmer. Hey, you own a black farmer market. Okay, listen, man, let me put my produce in your store. All right, so now we have the black community now building up the community because now the money is circulating in the community. And this is how we become dependent upon each other. And this is how we become independent as a people. So listen, we become independent as we become dependent. What am I saying? As we depend on each other, the more we do that, then we evolve into being independent because we are dependent upon each other. I have a friend who sell wallets, leather wallets, cuff design. I bought my wallet from him, cuff design, right? What's in my wallet? Now I have more than one bank. You know what I'm saying? I have to keep it real. I got more than one bank. But it's all good because I still go with one United Bank. What am I doing when I go to one United Bank? I'm keeping the money circulating in the community And those who are African brothers and sisters who work for One United, I'm helping them to get paid. When I go to One United to go get a business loan, I'm helping them to stay in business, and I'm also enabling them to be able to pay the employees. So what I'm telling you is that when you put your money in the community, it's more than just an exchange of capital for goods. You are empowering your community. You are helping them to stay in business. And as your dollars go into the businesses, they in turn are able to hire people, which in turns enable our families to be able to take care of their families. So when you help a family, you're helping the family, if you understand what I'm saying. It's a family-owned business, just like Bojo's here in Pompano Beach, Florida. Bojo's Seafood and Kitchen. I go there frequently. I may not eat that food all the time because, you know what I'm saying, I'm on a totally different diet now. However, I go there, I try to find the healthiest thing I possibly can, close enough, because I understand everybody's pockets is not like where ours are, where we can shop at Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, right? And I go there and I put money into the community. And so when I do that, I'm enabling that brother to stay in business, and I'm enabling him also to pay those who work there. And I'm also keeping the community alive because of us being able to have businesses that are thriving there for them to be able to hire other brothers and sisters. So family, I appreciate everybody that's tuned in on today. And I pray and hope that this was of some value to you. If it is, and you believe it's going to help somebody else, then if you'll be so kind as to share this video, if you would. Okay, again, I don't tell people to share the videos for fame. I believe I'm saying something. I believe my wife and I are establishing a footprint. Okay, we actually own properties. In our house that we're in, we own this home. You know what I'm saying? We pay a mortgage on this one. And then we purchased 2 other rental properties, and we purchased them in the hood. Okay. You know, also our business Synergetic Network Group LLC is African owned and operated. Our staff are all us. All us. We have a clothing business, Al Kebalan Lifestyle. The clothing that we buy is straight from Africa. It is straight from Africa. It's an African owned and operated business. The dashikis I wear, all of them. None of them come from Korea. They don't come from China. They don't come from India. None of our clothes, none of our products, none of them. The purses, the earrings, all right, that my queen sells as well. The dresses, they don't come from China or India or Japan. All of our stuff comes straight from Africa. And our businesses, the businesses that we buy from, are African owned and operated. So we're still helping Africa. We're helping our brothers and sisters over in Africa, in Accra, Ghana, because that's where our clothes come from. And so we are helping them over there too. So what I'm telling you is, family, we're not just talking about global, supporting each other. No, we're actually doing it. We're actually doing it. So again, we want to show you what this looks like. We want to show you that you can do it. You have to sacrifice, but it's worth it in the long run. Because guess what? Our ancestors seen us afar off. You know what I'm saying? And what did they do? They laid down their lives because they thought about us. So we have to start thinking about later. We have to live our lives now for later. And we have to establish generational wealth, because the only way our people are going to come out of this poverty is if we start getting serious about wealth. The only way we're going to be able to be free from this Eurocentric indoctrination is if we get our own schools. And we learn from us about us. Peace, love, power. For my Queen Amani Mari and I, we appreciate everybody's support. Those of you who support El Kebalan Unity Alliance, El Kebalan Lifestyle, Synergetic Network Group, LLC. And also, for those of you who are interested in real estate investment, we just started. However, we can give you as much knowledge as we possibly can from what we know. We will be honored to be able to sit down with you and help you, to teach you how can you go about getting into this industry. Okay? So we love you. We appreciate you. And let's partner together. If you're a speaker as well, whatsoever they're doing that's positive. Okay? If you have a business, whether, if you're a singer, you're a dancer, you're an entrepreneur, we have a platform for you. We would love to introduce you to the world. Okay? We introduce you to the people that do follow us. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully it'll germinate and then become something where all eyes are on you so your greatness can become greater. Peace. All right. I also want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you so much, my brother, Travell Wiggins, my cousin, Harriet Walden. I love you, cousin. Appreciate you. Queen Suzette in the building. My Queen Amani Amari, Queen of my heart. Love you for always and forever. Queen Denise Higgins in the building. My good brother, Reginald Orr's in the building. Kevin Moore, thank you for hanging in there with me. My good brother, King Queese Reese is in the building. And my good brother, King Moss is in the building. I thank you all for tuning in, man. I love you all. Blessings, family.